Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. How's everyone doing? You can go under here for now. Today is the return of the RatRig printer. This may be the last part in the build series. I don't know for sure. This spool is tangled to shit, by the way. Because we're pretty much at the end of it. The printer is built. The printer is built. We just got to do some. We've done input shaping. Gotta do pressure. We gotta do pressure advance. We can do pressure advance today, and we gotta do part cooling. That's what we're gonna solve first. We need to figure out part cooling, or correction, not part cooling. This thing's got a blow neutron. It's got enough part cooling. We gotta sort out driver cooling. That's what we gotta sort out. Is driver cooling. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna figure out a back panel. Move this wonderful Chelsea model here so I don't break it. So yeah, we're gonna figure out part cooling, or correction, driver cooling. And then we're gonna do some printing, and yeah, so it's gonna be kind of like a, we might do one more dedicated RatRig Tuesday, just print and just recap the build, which that's usually how we do it. But yeah, the actual build of it is done, and I really like it. It's beefcake. Like this thing will injure people if you don't know what you're doing with it. Okay. Okay. So first things first. We got these wires. Okay, so the Z motor wires we got to kind of do something with, because they're kind of they're just kind of dangling under there. They're kind of just, yeah, we'll figure something out with them after we figure out the part cooling problem. So also, anyone want to buy an A6400? We'll talk about that later. I like my super simple setup. It's super simple and easy to use, and I don't have to worry anything. And then you spend half a night looking at videos, and next thing you want to know, you want to upgrade cameras. It's always something. There's always something. There's always something. Okay, so we got to figure out how to keep this cool. So first things first, this is kind of a no-go. There's some high volt here. Don't put your finger on that. That's bad. So I need to cover this up somehow. So how can we do that? Use the credit card. I haven't used the credit card yet. What do we got back here? What do we got? We got core. Oh, this might work. This is not ABS. This is, oh, this is ABS. Okay. That'll work. That'll work. So cut that. Yeah, that'll work. And then we got to figure out a fan. Fan. There was, how much room do I have here? Because I have some fans here. I want to be fancy. Aha. Do you got LEDs? You got the LEDs. We can do some LEDs on this. So is there room in here? Oh, there is. So I can mount a fan to this, and there's clearance. Plenty of clearance. Heck yeah. And then we get some RGB goodness. Well, no, this, if I'm not mistaken, is blue RGB. 12 volt 0.2 amp. So because we are cooling, you want to use blue. Okay, you don't want to use red. Blue is better for cooling. Okay. So let's see here. Are these all controllable? Yeah. So let's start cutting. Get out of here, bamboo. So let's start cutting. Let me get the cutting mat out. Where is the cutting mat? Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Red would make it hotter. Exactly. You want to use blue. Like if I lived in Europe where electricity costs were high, I'd be using green LEDs, so it'd be more efficient, right? So remember, red is hotter, but more powerful. Blue is cooler, and green is more efficient, right? Remember to use the right LEDs for your intended use case. Okay, so 15,600. I need a knife. Big stripes. You're not that sharp. That's how it works in Factory. Exactly. Where's the rat on the RatRig? I don't know. I haven't put the sticker on yet because it's not done yet. When it's done, I will put the sticker on it. But until it is then, it's not done. So, what did I say? 15,600? I'm hoping I can cut this easily. Not, you know, remember kiddies, always cut towards you in a swift jerking motion and use the dullest knife. That way you don't cut yourself because it's a dull knife. You want to use the dullest knife you have. Measure once, cut twice. Exactly. And just keep a can of Adithau with you. That way, if you cut it short, you can just put it back on. Right? Adithau is key. That's the key. As long as you have a can of Adithau, you're good. You're good. So this stuff actually, you score it and then you cut it. The problem is I'm on a bench that's slippery. Oh yeah, that's totally not straight. Oops, oh well. Yeah, it's okay. See, the key is you do this kind of sketchy work on the back of the printer so nobody sees. What are we up to? I got to make a back panel for this. So I got a sheet of ABS from the Physek that they sent was the wrong size. So we're just going to do some hackery to kind of get it good enough. And then we're going to put some fans on it. This is kind of annoying. So now I need I don't need me. My vice grips. Vice grips? Vice grips. Oh, hey, and while I'm doing this, because this is super fun and exciting, do you want to win some filament? I know you do. Every stream we give away a spool from Polymaker. So link in the video description, enter for your chance to win some. Oh, this is acrylic. This is an ABS. Shit. Yeah, whatever. It'll work. Well, it doesn't. I thought this was ABS sheet. This is not ABS. That is a problem. We may postpone this idea because, yeah, this is gonna, oh yeah, this is acrylic. I thought this was ABS. I thought this was just, Yeah. So it does break on the score, but it's super sharp, and drilling holes in it is not going to be good. So we're just going to bodge it for now. We're just going to bodge it for now. I'll just put the fan here and just tape it on or something, or make a quick little bracket. And just leave it open for now. I gotta buy an ABS sheet then. Yeah, it's gonna crack. Yeah. So the problem is with acrylic and plexiglass, like this stuff. This stuff is thick enough. You should be okay. But anytime you have acrylic or plexiglass, you have holes in it, especially holes with like little screws through it that hold stuff with some weight or that vibrate or whatever, you risk cracking it. So if you were to build a printer, you really don't want to have holes. This is why, like on the Vorons, these are glued on. Like the everything you see for these panels is stuck on. This is thicker. It's 1/4 inch thick, and they're using washers to have more surface area. But you have to be really careful anytime you're drilling a hole through acrylic or plexiglass, because it will crack. It's very susceptible to cracking. So if you're selling a printer, don't mount stuff to the acrylic with holes, especially if you use really thin, cheap acrylic. But yeah. Double-sided tape. Double-sided tape works really good. VHB tape, for example. PC fan header pinout. Okay, so let's see here. So I've got 3 fans, or this is a 3-pin fan. Okay, so ground is that one. So this is ground. I got to make this into JST. So 3 pins. So ground is that one. Double check. Yeah, so that's ground, in the middle is red. Okay, so this one's tack. So get rid of tack. We're not going to be using tack. Right? Yeah. Yeah, we don't need tack. Goodbye, tack. Bye, tack. Okay. So, I need some JSTs. I am running really low on JSTs. How am I running this low on JSTs? Okay, it is what it is. How am I that low on JSTs? Oh my god, where are my JST connectors? Uh-oh. 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 Those are all male. Where's the female connectors? That's Molex KK. Here we go. JSTs. There we go. Uh-oh. And then SKR, octopus, and out. Okay, so those are all the fan headers. So the positive is inward. Yeah, okay. So you are the positive. So you're going to mount right here. Okay, and you're going to go to there. So I need you to be about that long. So we're going to cut you. Right about there. A local buddy with a laser. Yeah, anyone have a laser? Anyone have a laser? Lasers are nice. Also, don't forget to like the smash button and all that other stuff that YouTubers are supposed to say that I always forget to say. That's why my metrics aren't the greatest. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. If you're not a member of the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Enter your social security number. Dorian's encrypted. And yeah. Hello from France. Bonjour, no. Es-tu bien? Je suis bien. Perfect, David. And then just put your that 3-digit number on the back of your credit card in as well, just for safety's sake. So it goes there, okay. And then you are the ground wire. Hunter 1, 2, Hunter 2. Now, see, I didn't see that. I just see a bunch of stars. Or hashtags, as the kiddies say. French is rusty. Of course my French is rusty. Je parle juste un petit peu de français. Pas beaucoup. Un petit peu. Okay, so we're going to put you there. That's 12 volt, I'm assuming. I'm assuming I set it for 12 volt. Yeah, 12 volt. You are going to plug in like that. Hopefully I plugged you in the right way. So now I need to figure out a way to mount this to this as easily as possible. Not because I'm lazy, but because I'm lazy. So for that, I think I do have some part. Yeah, perfect. Okay. That would work. Let's see, I don't want to use this. This I don't trust. Too flexible. I know I have some offcuts of ABS somewhere. Offcuts of ABS somewhere. I could print something. Let's be honest. It's. I do have a device that can print things quite well. It's called a 3D printer. Ain't nobody got that. The time that people got time for it not that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. If you watch what I did on the CNC, we're gonna do similar. What I do on the CNC. We just made very quick brackets out of scrap ABS sheets. Because I'm sure I could print something really quickly and really easily that would do what we're trying to do here. But that requires time, effort, 2 seconds in CAD and Fusion. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut 2 rectangles out of ABS. And I'm going to drill some holes in them. Yeah. Make hexagon. While it is the bestagon, in our particular use case here, it's a little bit of overkill. Is that big enough? Is that too big? That works. Sure, why not? By the way, you'd be surprised the amount of like multi-million or multi-100,000 to low $1 million injection molds have like this sort of jank on it. Where it's like, we need this to kind of work. It's shipping in an hour. Like you would be surprised the amount of very expensive tools out there that are hand fabricated. They're custom. They got like that British craftsmanship to it, where like some guy was banging on a piece of like aluminum as the truck was waiting to load it. You would be surprised. Actually, you probably are not surprised. It's bespoke. Exactly. It's bespoke custom work. Okay. So will this fit? Maybe I gotta put a washer on it. Oh, that works. Good. Artisan. Exactly. It's custom. It's a custom manufactured piece. Okay, so we want you to go like that. So you got to go right about there. And you got to go right about there. Okay, perfect. So now I got to figure out what size hole this is. That's what she said. So that works. Okay, so the advantage here is I could move these up and down. So right about. Probably shouldn't leave this hanging all the time for this, but whatever. Are you concerned? Are you concerned, class? Are you concerned? I'm not. There we go. Okay. So now I need to find some screws for this. I should have some somewhere. I do. I have one less because I dropped it on the floor, but I do have these. Okay. Good day from down under. Cheers. No concerns, full send. Are you concerned? I'm not concerned. Why would I be concerned? Perfect. Okay, so you're gonna go right about there. Right about there. Viola. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Look at that. We have a nice big old honking fan. It should be nice and quiet because it's a big diameter. It's a PC fan. Unless this is one of the fans that's on my shelf because it whines. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully I wired it up right. Let's give it some juice. Help if I plugged it in. Okay. So that is set for 12 volts. Okay. Power on. So I do have it set for a controller fan. So it shouldn't turn on yet. It should only turn on. Yeah, I did change the jumper to 12 volt. I did change the jumper to 12 volt. I did do that. We did do that. And that's on. So now, where in this thing would, because I have it on, okay, let's see here. So it is 1, 2, 3. So the controller fan is on J25, which is, sorry, J52, which is PD12. So where is controller fan? Do they have fan in here? Oh, here we go. It's not fans. If I use the third part, it already works. Okay, so that means if I home it, it should kick on. Okay. And it's blue, so it's nice and cool, and it's quiet. It's a PC fan. So you just get high airflow just blasting that whole controller board. Yeah, the blue lights means it's cooling. So there we go. That was easy. So now we got a big honking PC fan. All I got to do is get a sheet of ABS, or got Coroplast. I might just use Coroplast and just cover up this, and we're donezo. So that is that. C'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon. So now let's spin it around and load some filament in it. Okay, so let's go back to, what did I have in there? Yeah, Jesse Premium Glitter. So let's drop the bed and heat up this hot end because I got filament in it. Extruder 210. Uncommon, cool driver. No, the drivers are in performance mode. The drivers are in performance mode, I believe. I can't remember where it's at. Yeah, they are in performance mode. Because they, we were running with a fan. I literally just had this guy sitting behind the printer when I was printing. previously. Yeah. And then, oh. Okay, so I gotta take this filament out. And we're gonna load this back in. Why? Because it's sparkle black. Why not? Why not? So does Orca Slicer have a pressure advance tune thingy? I think it does. It's one of the tools, right? It's pressure advance. Why don't you want to feed in? Oh, what helped? That was it. There we go. Wow, this has a lot of filament in its skillet. Okay, so close this, close that. We're going to extrude 50 millimeters of filament at 5 millimeters a second, extrude, and we're going to turn it off. There we go. Okay, so now I think there's a new version of Orca Slicer. Let's download the newest version of that because there's been some updates, and I think this actually has a proper profile on it now. How to install. Releases. Windows zip. While that does that, how you guys doing? Everyone good? We need to figure out the community challenge today. That's what we got to do, because the whole first week of this month was a complete write-off for me because of Rapid there. So we got to figure out what we're doing for the community challenge this month. Got to figure that out. It's already filled with dog hair. Your back hurt. That sucks. What's the X gantry? 3030. Except for that one. That's a 2020. Star Wars Community Challenge. Now, I don't want just print things. That's kind of the... I'm not a huge fan of contests where just print. Like, I want to have some variation. Best hardware organizers. No, because then everyone's just going to print the little... what's his name's thing? Okay, intrigued about Orca. Okay, I don't like Cura. I don't use Cura much anymore. I've moved to the Prusa Slicer, the Slick 3R derivatives. So Prusa Slicer is an improved version of Slick 3R. Okay, what Bamboo did was neuter it by removing a bunch of the functionality, added a few things, don't get me wrong, and then put a really nice UI on it. What Bamboo Slicer does is take the good UI, puts the good shit back in, puts some shit in it from Super Slicer, and then puts more in it. So Orca Slicer is basically cake and eating it too. So yeah. Okay, let's see, printers. So we got a, is the Cheaty, or is the V-Core in here? Is the RatRigs in here? There we go. RatRig V-Core 300. I don't think these were in here before. Or no, it wasn't here before. Yeah. Yeah, so we do have the RatRig. Okay. But this is 0.6. User presets. There we go. With a 0.6 nozzle. Okay. So where is calibration? Pressure advance. So I am direct drive. Do we want to do a tower or a line? Which one do we want to do? Organic supports? No, it does not have organic supports, because even mainline Prusa Slicer doesn't have organics yet. It's in a beta version of it. Line. Okay, so we'll do line. So we're going to leave it at 0.2 layer height. We're just going to go with a 0.6 nozzle. 0.2 layer height. Okay, project. What am I doing? Calibration, pressure advance, line, print numbers. Okay. First layer height, that there. Transfer, I guess. Okay. Slice plate. Oh, it does this. Okay, cool. Print. Does it actually have this printer in it? Oh, it does. That's right. I forgot we set that up. Print, upload, and print. I am at 0.2 layer height. We are at 0.2 layer height. Connection timeout. Oh. I'm connected. Yeah, I'm at 0.2 layer height. See? 0.2. See? You can see right there. It's 0.2. Print. Upload and print. Okay, whatever. I'll just... Let's do it save. Upload and print. I'll just do it through here. Pressure advance test. There we go. Now we wait. Oh, why is the bed going to 108? Why is the bed going to 108? That's why. Merge stop. Okay. Slice plate. Export G code. PLA. Go. Export successfully. Upload and print. Oh, PLA. There we go. Why is it homing first? Okay, now it's heating up. Okay, there we go. Struggling to get Prusa Super Slicer to work properly. Cura runs reliably on which. Honestly, here's the thing too. A lot of 3D printing is voodoo, and it's what works for you. Let's be honest. A good chunk of what we do is voodoo. No two machines are exactly the same, especially if you get like a Friday afternoon shift ender. So literally, if you find something that works for you and you have no issues, roll with it, homie. You don't need to use somebody's slicer just because a YouTuber uses it. My Vorons, I still run like Super Slicer from, when was the last update? November. Because that's the profile I have that I know works really good and I don't have to mess with anything. But with these other machines, I'm playing with new stuff. So, mod-free zone today? What do you mean mod-free zone? Y'all are behaving. SV07. Yep, the SV07. They asked if I wanted one. I said no. Why would I want a V-wheel bed slinger? I thought you guys were better than that. If I wanted a Beachu Hurricane, I'd have a Beachu Hurricane. I gave away a Beachu Hurricane because I didn't want a Beachu Hurricane. Quick before the mods get here. You do know I have mod power, and we're about to start printing, so that means I'm going to be watching chat. It's not like you can play. I know, but I'm lazy. Here's my problem, and Mandic really tweeted about this. Let me find it here. Where's Mandic's? Where is Mandic's tweet? Here you go. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? What's his tweet? I can't find his tweet. But basically, he tweeted like, I spend more time making videos about 3D printing stuff than 3D printing anymore, because that's kind of what happens as you become a creator in 3D printing. You actually don't print as much as you used to because you're busy making content. It gets worse once you start live streaming everything you do, because you'll go, hey, I would love to do this, but I'm going to save it for stream because that's my content. Like the fan on this. I haven't been printing with this because I haven't had a fan on it and it's been overheating. And it's like, I can just put a fan on it. And I've been doing it with the fan in the back, kind of half-assedly. But it's like, I should fix it properly. But I'm going to wait for the stream to do that because that's my content. It's the fat bastard paradox. I eat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat. Difference between the V-Core and a Trident. Many things. Completely different. This machine is a much beefier machine, but it's designed to scale larger. Vorons don't get above 350. That's kind of what they're meant for. I gotta put camp on this. That but like for perspective, this is a 200 cubed build volume. This is 250, although it's about 230 on the Z. C'est un grand femme chien. Don't do Pam. It broke on update. I'm too lazy to put camp on it. Okay. Wire belts help with usable daily Excel. James, gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers, James. Yeah, the RatRigs are definitely built beefier, but also the RatRigs use custom components. There are custom machine brackets in this thing. You can't build this machine just buying stuff off the shelf. You need custom components, which is fine for a RatRig because that's how it's designed to be. For a Voron, that's not part of the design ethos of a Voron. On a Voron, everything on a Voron is literally off-the-shelf consumer parts. Nothing fancy. So. Yeah, there's like a little bit of like hot or filament that like is bumping it. I don't know. If I gotta adjust that offset, I'll just adjust that offset. No biggie. If I refine it, I could just fit through the 600 by 600. Probably won't. Nope. And at 600 by 600, wait for V24, whatever it ends up being, because that thing is beast mode. Like, it is absolute beast mode. Big shout out to Fabrico. Hector offered to replace a blown up Mellow SB 2040 to Ireland. You know, I didn't buy it from them. I declined. It's not their fault. I would buy it. Yeah. Hector's a good guy. Hector's a good guy. Pretty much every company that I've ever worked with, for the most part, has been good folks. And I've never really had any issues with any of them. Like, I'll only work with companies if the people I'm working with those companies are good folks. So. I bought a Cheedy Smart 3. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully they fix their firmware, or at least make it not poo-poo. Hardware-wise, I think the machine is fine for the most part, but it does have some issues, I believe, with the default clipper config. It's a little, in my opinion. Did I get my Polymaker? No. So for the Polymaker original, I do have I do have like 8 spools of 3mm filament now. Thank you, David. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have used black. Yeah, we'll let it run and see what happens. How late while I'm streaming? Usually 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on these days. Usually my streams are a 3-hour stream. But as for the Polymaker original, it's been purchased. The person that is picking it up in England is on the Voron team, so it's somebody I trust, but they're on vacation for like, I think they're on vacation. They're on vacation this week or something, and they're picking it up from said person. So TLDR, it won't be showing up for like a month. So yeah, Mother's Day thing. No, because that by the time the contest, Mother's Day will be 2 weeks late. What I'm thinking is give you guys a time limit and see 1 hour. You have 1 hour to print something and press me. I think. Does that sound fair? And to like, you have to, with the picture, you have to upload the G code so we can verify, and a picture of your time completed from your slicer or your controller or whatever, saying time complete or whatever. So you have 1 hour to print whatever you want. It's got to be under an hour. What are we printing today? We're doing a pressure advanced tune, and then we're going to go from there. 1 hour go burr. Thought this wasn't 1 hour. I don't like speed benchies, but I do think you should be able, a good printer in today's day and age should be able to pull off a respectable benchy in half an hour. So if I give you an hour, wow, okay. You are not working at all. You're not sticking to the bed at all. This flex planing doing too good. Yeah, we're gonna have to pause that. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on? Okay, yeah, you need to stop. Am I too close to the bed? I think I'm too close to the bed. That's too close to the bed because these all look the same. They're all smushed. Yeah, I'm way too close to the bed. And it is a 0.6 nozzle. How am I supposed to know which one's which? Well, I guess I could just look at the preprint, so I don't have to worry about the numbers. Preview. There we go. I can just look at the numbers. Okay. Just count. Yep. Okay, so I'm looking for the most consistent line. Is that what I'm looking for? That would be that one. The most consistent line. Is that usually how you do? Less bulges, yeah. So it would be that one, right in the middle. So 0.6, 0.06, roughly. I'm not counting all these, but roughly in the middle looks pretty good. So where is, like the power method to see the frame? Let's try the tower method, because I don't think my Z offset's good, and this bed is kind of eh. So let's do the tower method, because that relies less on Z offset, I think. Because I'm not too sure this bed is sticking to. Ah, that's hot. Yeah, let's wipe down the super hot bed. I'm big brain YouTuber. Calibration, pressure advance, PA tower. Okay. Oh, no, I want it. Oh, okay, 0.2. 0.2. Okay, we're gonna save this. Yeah, we're just gonna do 0.2. Okay, calibration. Pressure advance. We're gonna do a tower. Okay. Transfer 0.02. Okay, cool. So there we go. Cool. Slice plate. Not supposed to clean PI when it's hot. It's not hot anymore. That's the advantage of a flex plate. You can take it off really easily. And it'll cool off really quickly. Some of that good old IPA. Okay, print, upload and print. I don't know why it's not transferring the files. Like, it obviously is seeing the printer. It's right, it's right there. Okay, there we go. So now it's going to do the pressure advance print. Instead of, I don't have any dish soap, at least not in this room. It's an authentication thing. Maybe I got to set it up. I don't know for sure. But the thing is, like, it sees it right here. This is in Orca Slicer. I'm in Orca Slicer. So it is seeing the printer. Exported the RatRig blob purge macro for use. I have not. Did I log in? It's, oh, do I gotta like create an account? I don't have an account. I don't want to connect the Bamboo network. Got enough spyware on this machine already, I think. So what's going on? What's going on? So we got what's new? So we got SV07, whoop-de-doo. Literally doesn't look any special at all. I love Clipper. I love Clipper when it's not butchered. Hopefully, I don't think Saval would mess it up. Saval has been pretty okay to work with when it comes to open source stuff. So I think they're just going to use standard Clipper. I hope. After what Creality's doing and the fact that people are still simping for him with the whatchamacallit, the K1. That speaking of, I don't know about you. Like, I don't know about you. But if you're gonna put out a video promoting your high-speed printer, where are they? Where is their video? What is their video, Creality? Is this the one? Yeah. If you're gonna put out a video promoting your high-speed K1, okay? Now, I don't know about you. I would want the belts to be even. Look at the gap there, and look at the gap there. You're gonna blow your bearing up. You can already see wear in the bearings in crud. But there's that. So you want your printer to look good. And then also, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my drag chain dragging on my X rod the entire time I'm printing. Every K1 Max I've seen has this issue. And look at those wobbles. Look at those wobbles. Mwah! Beautiful. I don't know about you. And then also, what's his name? Nathan Builds Robots? Is that the channel? Here we can see the Creality printer in its native habitat, flipped over and broken. And here we could see that the choice to go with the plastic gears for the drive system for the Z-axis have been a great choice, as you can see, because they are already in a state of failure. And also, when you attach a GT2 pulley to a lead screw, it is totally rigid and not prone to wobbling, as you can see in this example. Although they did use the right crimp connector, so good for them there. Yes. Yes, and they did properly ground the anodized aluminum frame. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Reality quality. The bamboo killer. You know what the bamboo killer is? Whatever the next printer bamboo comes out with. Unless, you know, somebody hacks them and all their network gets corrupted and violated. And the King Rune Clippy one. I don't know how everyone is all of a sudden expecting these companies that have made a name for themselves building budget bin, bare bones, cheapest part printers to suddenly come out with high-speed Core XYs, also on a budget with the cheapest parts, and compete with, you know, the bamboo, which, well, I've said many times, I have some issues with, is a pretty solid printer, and is, you know, it's got some design issues, don't get me wrong, but at least they put the time into it and not rush it out the door. And for the record, I do have a K1 on the way, apparently. I don't know. The guy at the Creality booth at Rapid knew me and called me out the moment I walked near the booth. So I don't know how far up on the shipping list I am right now with them. But also, these are the same people that I asked when they're going to release the source code for their variant of Clipper. They completely dodged the question and refused to answer it. So it do be how it do, though. Wrong camera. The poop blob isn't sticking. I don't know if it's this filament or what. Is Grant's bamboo printing? He's having some random issues with it last I heard. So, also did not release it. So, as far as I know, what Cheaty has done, they are running normal Clipper. You can root into the machine and flash the newest version of Clipper on it. It's just the machine ships with an older version, and I really don't recommend updating it because you're gonna have to update all the MCUs. So the Cheaty, I don't think is running modified Clipper. It's just running an older version of Clipper, and their config is available within the printer. Like, you can just download the config. They might have it on their GitHub. I'm not 100% sure. But you have root access to the Cheaty machine. It's an MKS skipper. You can install just normal Clipper on it. I don't know about the screen, though. I don't know what they've done with the screen. Using X twist. So it is a modified version. Okay. As you can see, the Cheaty hasn't been seeing much love. K1 or Pantheon? Like, everyone just assumed the K1 would be amazing. Remember the Ender 7? Last time Creality tried a high-speed Core XY? incoming. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me queue it up. So again, remember, the last time Creality came out with a high-speed Core XY and how that went. And this machine cost as much as a K1, if I remember correctly. This was like a $700-800 machine. And look how little there is to it. So how did Creality make a machine with more that's the same price? Or cheaper? What? The corners have been cut so much they're rounded. It's a miracle that K1 does not need... The fastest speed benchings are done with NEMA 14s on a V0. Since company bashing is on. Tronxy? I've never actually used a Tronxy. Or, I do have a Tronxy. I have the little cantilevered one that I took out of the box, printed once on a stream, and it's been collecting dust in another room. That's the only Tronxy I've ever used. But I haven't heard good things about them. All right, I'm doing great. We got the RatRig printing. We're doing a pressure advance tune thingy. And he likes it. Oh, okay. Everyone's in the bamboo. Has to be selling printers at a loss when everyone thinks that Creality can drop cheaper printers that's going to compete with it. Here's the thing with the bamboo. A lot of the bamboo is custom in metal. Like, getting the dies to make all the metal components, putting that together, all the custom injection molding for the frame, the enclosure, the parts, it's not cheap. Plus they spun up their own controller boards, they spun up their own firmware, the AMS assembly. Like, there is a lot to the bamboo that they did from scratch. You know, having Papa DJI VC bucks kind of helps a bit, but it is an expensive machine. And I've spoken to people in the industry that are kind of like, how are they selling this at a profit? And these are people that work with manufacturing. Now, granted, as somebody who owns a Bamboo X1 Carbon and a P1P, while I don't own a K1, I did play around with one at Rapid. It is cheap. The front panel, the glass, it's not glass, it's acrylic. That's tempered glass. The K1 is thin. It is very, very thin, the enclosure. Like, it rattles like mad. All the panels, these panels are like a mil thick, if that. And also, remember how I was saying don't drill and tap holes through acrylic? Guess how this is. Whenever you see videos of it doing high speed and you see this fan bouncing around like mad, it's because this fan is attached to 1 millimeter acrylic. They just drilled holes through it and screwed it in. That's what's holding this in place. The belt's already got wear. They had to take that out because I think the 90 degree was a little too much. You're going to wear through the bone quick. They had to grind the panel, but this is very thin. This is very thin. Actually, it might be glass. I can't remember, but it's like, it's thin. Like, it feels thin. The whole machine feels very like you can grab it and kind of go, and the whole thing will twist. Like, you could tell they cut corners. It's not anywhere near as well built as a Bamboo. All right, I'm doing good. How do you maintain X rods, regrease them? On the K1, you're gonna just slather grease on the rods because it's just a bushing. The Clippy, I have no idea. Isaac, why do you keep asking how I am? I am doing good. And that's the one they take to shows. That's the one they're showing off, which also happens to be one of the only ones that people have seen with high mileage on it, because people just started getting them a couple weeks ago. So none of them have hundreds and hundreds of print hours on them, except for the ones at the trade show. And this is the one they're showing off. So why do I keep going to that camera? Yeah. They feel super cheap. Oh, for the Bamboo, you don't grease the Bamboo. You just wipe it. It tells you Bamboo has a special procedure you're supposed to do with their machines to keep the rods clean. Follow what they tell you to do. Problem with Creality is they're too cheap. That has been my biggest disappointment. Here's the funny thing. I hate Creality. No, I don't. No, I don't. I would love for them to come out with a good printer. They have the money for it. They sell 1 million Ender 3s at budget bin prices. They can put some money into proper R&D to come out with a good printer. They just refuse not to. And that's the annoying part. Like, I have no, other than Voron, which, full disclosure, I'm part of the Voron team. I really don't have any brand loyalty. If Prusa started being, you know, dickheads about what their IP and started coming out with shit printers, not overpriced printers in some people's opinions, but like legit shit printers, I wouldn't like Prusa. Like, let's be honest here, or any company, right? Nobody pays me. I'm free to say what I want, and I got no brand loyalty. Except Voron, which, as disclosed, I'm on the Voron team. There is a bias there. So yeah, Creality, I really wanted to like the Cheaty. I've played with one Cheaty before. They have a good reputation. I wanted to like it. The hardware isn't bad. I love the form factor, but they bungled the firmware. So, favorite bed sensing probe? Tap. Or the Mark IV load cell, which is also on the XL. Those work really good. I'm a very big fan of nozzle probing now. How many team will be at the Voron? Not as many. You'll probably see maybe about the same amount you saw at Murph last year, maybe a dozen or so. Not as much as Rocky Mountain. Like, it is so painful to see a printer that could have been great just bungle it at the finish line. Have I checked out Camp yet? I have not. We're gonna put it on I gotta put it on one of these machines. Maybe we'll do it Friday. Really want more nozzle probes. So I really like Prusa's implementation of it. Mark IV, hotend, disassembly. Hotend disassembly stuck in. Okay, does Prusa have a guide for the Mark IV yet? Enter Mark IV. Firmware handbook. I don't think they have a guide to show you how it goes together. I'm trying to find a picture of the Prusa Mark IV heatsink because it has the load cell built into it, and I can't seem to find it. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. So anyways, the Prusa Mark IV heatsink, the way they have it, let me load up some super advanced software here. So you got your heatsink, right? And it looks a lot like the mini heatsink. So you got your hot end here, right? You got your hot end, right? You got there, and there's your nozzle, okay? Well, the heatsink is kind of this rectangular thing, but then it does this. Okay, and you got your fans here, or the vanes. Okay, so this is your heatsink. This to scale, by the way. Okay, the load cell is like kind of mounted in here, and it's like epoxied in place, I think. And this is where it attaches. So it mounts here. Okay, among us. So anyways, this little part here where it flexes is where the load cell is. That's how it picks it up. Some Picasso shit right there. So I really like how they have the load cell integrated into the Mark IV/XL tool head. It works really good. The fact that you can probe your hand shows you that. With a different firmware like Clipper. So theoretically it should work just fine because it would just be getting values. The thing is, in Marlin, or not Marlin, in the version of Marlin Prusa runs that is like completely deviated from standard Marlin at this point, it's reading the load cell real time. There's a little debug menu you can load up that shows you the status of all the sensors. And that load cell is going nuts the entire print, and it's real time. So that allows you to do things like, hey, maybe detect if you get a jam because the filament is not going through the hot end and there's different forces involved on that flex, whatever. That's something they might be able to do. There's data there that you may be able to interpret in different ways. Clipper, though, because it's batched commands and I don't know if it'd be able to read it real time. You would be able to use it as an end stop, because it would just be once it trips a certain point, it would activate the end stop, right? You would just have a minimum and maximum. It'd be like sensorless homing almost, where you could have different values for what activates it. But I don't know if you'd be able to interpret it real time, would be the problem with Clipper, because Clipper has the communication delay. Why do Prusa need? I asked Joe. I don't know. I don't even know what M221 S95 is off the top of my head. Oh, is that the flow rate? They just do that because it makes the prints look better. What is your opinion about the chaotic lad CNC tap? I don't know. They sent me one of the early ones with the bodged rail that is floppy as all heck, and that's the last I've looked into it. Apparently they fixed it. I'm running the plastic ones without issue. What's the best printer management solution for warrants the Mark IV? So my printer management solution is I have a tab in Chrome where I have all my printers. And then, so if I want to control, Big Papa Joey P, I go like that. And this is how I control Big Papa Joey P. And then the printer does printer things. That's kind of how I do it. Yeah. And then if you're all running Clipper, you can have, you can import multiple printers into Clipper, so you can view multiple printers at the same time and switch between them and whatnot. So like, switch to printer. So now this is the LDO V2. Here's Big Papa Joey P. So you can do that all within one interface, and you can see all the cameras at once when it decides to work. So how do I have my mount? A few different ways. This is. It depends on the printer. This one's an OV something camera, and there's like there's a little mount up there. This one is literally a AverMedia webcam of some sort that I literally just sit on the top here and it looks down. That one has a pie cam that's stuck to the back wall looking towards the front. This one's going to have a 3DO nozzle cam. I've got it over there. We're going to put that on here at some point. I'll probably do that in a video. But yeah, there are a few different ways, a few different cameras. As long I really don't care about camera quality for monitoring my printers. I'm very much is it making spaghetti, yes or no type. So if I want to get good video of my printer printing, I'm grabbing this camera. I don't care about the camera quality for this, as long as they work. So whatever's cheap and small and on sale. Love nozzle cams. The problem with nozzle cams is they're not actually great for print monitoring. They make really cool footage, and yeah, you can see if the first layer is coming down really good, but like you're seeing where the nozzle is. You can't see when your print is 200 millimeters up off the bed. You can't see if a corner's lifting with a nozzle cam. You have a very limited field of view with a nozzle cam. Spaghetti detective. I don't run spaghetti detective on any of my printers. My computer upstairs has a monitor mounted above the computer, and whenever I have a print running, I just have it up there so I can just watch it. So. What if you want to stream to MakerDeck? You can capture the window, or you can just pull the IP address out. So for example, printers, let's pull up LV2. Okay, so this is the webcam here. Let me just turn it around so you can see me. Okay. So there I am. Okay. So what you can do is it, oh, image in a new tab. Can you do it that easily? No, you can't do it that easily. So what you would do, you would go down to, there's a thing. What? Printers, webcams. There we go. This right here, /webcam. So your IP address here, if you add /webcam, whatever, that just pulls up the feed. And then what you would do, we're going to get meta here in, okay, you would go here, browser, we call this V2 LDO cam. Okay, you would put your source there, which would be the URL, webcam 1920, 1080, sure, whatever. Hit OK. Boom, there it is. Now, obviously, you're going to have to resize it because of whatever resolution your camera is. I just leave them at low resolution just for higher frame rate. It doesn't really matter. There you go. And then you would just stream this however you would normally stream it. There you go. So that is, that's it. It's a lot simpler than the than on the Bamboo, eh? You just grab the IP, you go, off you go. It's a browser source. Easy peasy, lemony squeezy. So there. Is the load cell sensitive enough? It is very sensitive. That load cell is very sensitive. You look at the information, like the readout, as it's printing, it's bouncing all over the place. So it's picking up something. Yeah, no awful. Yeah, that part is super annoying, is the fact that I can't, I have my Bamboo on LAN only mode. And yeah, I can't use the webcam on it. You know, I got, you know, a Ubiquiti $600 router in this house and gigabit Ethernet connecting me to the internet, which I guess it doesn't matter when you're just talking about that. I can't monitor that printer over my own network. I have to send my webcam feed to the cloud. Can someone tell me why that needs to be, other than Bamboo just wanting to spy on? Is there a valid reason why I should not be able to watch the webcam on that printer live within my own network and it has to go through the cloud? Like, I'm not a huge software person, so if there is a reason, let me know. But why does it have to do that? Is there any particular reason it has to do that? Because that's like, that and the fact I can't update the software via an SD card. That's also kind of annoying. But I guess if you could just download the software onto an SD card, more people would dig into it. It goes through the cloud. Yes, but I don't want it to go through the cloud. What happened? I'm a content creator. My job depends on YouTube. I'm trying to avoid any potential attack vectors of stuff that can get on my network. And one of them is having a printer punching a hole into it to a cloud that I don't know where it goes. So. Have I asked them? I've posted on Twitter and nobody's said anything. Like, I'm sure there's a bullshit answer. Oh, we want the most user experience because then you could use the app and you can watch it anywhere. Cool. But why does it have to use that? It's also like the same reason. Folks with a Bamboo, do you want to print faster? Good news. The company developed a higher flow hotend. That's higher flow than the standard hotend. And they are willing to sell it. The problem is Bamboo won't allow you to do a PID tune, so you can't install it. Literally, because Bamboo won't let you do a PID tune, you can't get a higher flow hotend on your Bamboo, unless Bamboo were to make one. They literally won't let you do a PID tune. So does that mean, one, they don't want you to do it, or two, the machine doesn't even have the code to run a PID tune, and they're just relying on pre-set values that are like automatically there? Who knows? I can't see. Have a direct contact with the CEO, right? Nope. I haven't talked to anyone from Bamboo since like just after I got the P1P. I mean, they could reach out. I've got one of them on Discord, but I don't talk to them. How do I know what's the value for this? Does it give me a certain number. Okay, I did the tower. So how do I do this? I just height times 0.002 in millimeters. Is that what we're doing? Height times X step. It's looking about 30 mil. Actually, that might be a little too much. Yeah, it's looking about 25 mil. That corner looks horrible. Yeah, about 25 mil. So that would be 0.05. Cool. And so in the printer, CFG. So where is extruder? Okay, so it'd be in LS extruder. Shit. This one? Maybe orbiter. Or orbiter 2. Am I running orbiter or orbiter 2? Shoot. Oops. Extruders. Nope, nope, up. Rapido and orbiter 1000. 4. Orbiter.cfg, pressure advance. Where's pressure advance? Extruder pressure advance. Yeah, there is no pressure advance. Okay, so there we go. Easy peasy. File save. Where is file save? Where is file save? Warning, do not edit this file. But I want to edit this file. How do I edit the file? Oh, I got to put it in that in the first thing. That's right. That's right. So I got to put it in. Yeah, it's. I got to go here and make an extruder section. That's right. Now I remember. Now I remember. Extruder. There we go. Right? I'm assuming that. Save and restart. There we go. Okay, now we have pressure advance. Okay, let's print something. Let's print something. We got an hour and a half here. Let's print something. What's the current flavor of the month shiny print that I can print? You can't put clipper on a bamboo. The bamboo runs completely non-native to clipper hardware. It uses H-bridge to drive the steppers. It doesn't use stepper drivers. So all the code for H-bridges would have to be added to clipper just for one machine. And the controllers are spindrill controllers. They're spindrill MCUs. So both those things are not native to Clipper. So somebody would have to write a complete control software for that, add that to Clipper. Then they would have to figure out how to get bootloader access to the controllers, multiple controllers. There's one in the EMS, there's one in the back, and there's one in the screen, and there's one in the tool head. Get bootloader access to all those, communicate with them, flash custom firmware, get that all set up. For what reason? There is no way anyone is putting Clipper on there unless they gut all the electronics. That's basically the only way it's going to happen. They built it from the ground up using the same hardware DJI uses, probably with a lot of the same code base, because the H-bridge and the spindrill, that is DJI. Okay, so I've got some fancy black filament in here. Let's do a low poly wolf. Let's see what it's between old and... Yeah, let's do the wolf. Downloads, because I got some nice black yellow in here. So that aligned 50%. Put the seam at the back. Seam cap 50%. Strength. 2 walls. 4 top, 3 bottom. Do some gearoid. Speeds. This is the normal RatRig speeds. Slice plate. Export G code file, save, load and print. Oh, fine. There we go. Well, baby steps. Baby steps. Friday we'll do a print and chill, and we'll get some ABS. Because remember, I'm printing PLA. PLA doesn't flow as fast as ABS. You want to speed print, you want to print ABS. So I do have, though, let me grab the goodie bag. Do have this. What? Oh, I just crushed that. Aha. So a company called Pro Graphene gave me this at Rapid. It is PET with graphene in it. 5% graphene. Not graphite, graphene. And it's supposed to allow you to print really fast and cooler than normal. Hi, Steve. So I've got this stuff, which we might try printing on here Friday. They told me I don't need a hardened nozzle. We'll see how that goes. So I got this stuff. What else? I should probably take all this stuff out. I've got the GoPro. The mic I didn't use at all. These mics. This right here. This, the DJI mics worked so good at Rapid. The GoPro, well, you guys want to go camera shopping on stream? I was not super thrilled with the GoPro. After watching a bunch of footage back from Rapid, my super awesome simple setup of the GoPro on a stick that I was super happy about, because don't get me wrong, it works really good. I'm not super happy with the quality. It works, but yeah, like here, let me find the E3D video. Okay, so I just put this together. Mute. Where's my mute?
So we are here at Rapid TCT 2023.
Okay, so this is the E3D video that I did about their high flow, and just fuzzy. Like, it's just fuzzy. A lot of noise in the blacks. You can see the noise. Now, granted, you're watching a rendered video that's playing on a computer that's also being shoved through the YouTube live shoot, so it's also getting compressed. But the colors are very, washed out. I'm not super happy with the GoPro footage. And that's not even one of the bad ones. Like look how, like, I'm trying to record an intro. Look how out I am here. Like the lighting is just, it can't do the lighting. Indoor, it's like, you only need, I said that. But it is what it is. Start a new camera. Well, I have been shopping and I think I know what I'm gonna get. Take off the hat. Do you want me to take off the hat? Do you want me to take off the hat? Actually, it's not as bad as it was. It's grown out a little bit. But turn the hat around. Yo, so today we're gonna do some 3D printing, y'all. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's the problem with the GoPro. So I'm actually looking, and I posted a few things on Twitter. So currently, here's my current video setup. So for videos, I have this. It's an A6400. It does 4K 30. I've got small rig on it. I've got an adapter on it, so I can use the MP F550 batteries instead of the small internal ones. I don't use this shotgun mic. This is usually, I just have the lav receiver plugged in, and I got a Tamron 24mm lens on it. This is what I use for all my videos that are recorded in this room, and it works pretty good. However, it only works if it's on a tripod. It's got no internal image stabilization, and this lens doesn't have stabilization. So I can't record on the go with this. It shakes too much. I shake too much. And it's 4K 30 on an APS-C lens, and when I record 4K 30, it actually crops it in. To get uncropped APS-C, which is already cropped, I have to record at 4K 24, which, yeah. Sony ZV-E10. I've looked at the ZV-E10. The problem with the ZV-E10, it's basically this with image stabilization. It's the same sensor. The E1. The E1 is full frame. I would have to buy all new lenses, which I'm going to buy a new lens anyways. I don't like this lens at all. So the E1 is about $3,000 Canadian. So it's cheaper than an A7 IV. And it is full frame. However, it has issues with overheating, apparently. And a few other things that, like, here's the thing. I don't do any pictures. I don't do pictures. So what I'm looking at is actually, let me pull them up here. Not Genry's, Henry's. And I've spoken to a few people. So I've spoken to a few people who really like this camera. And I think this lens is a good option too. Let me find it here. Also, I want something really compact. Well, as compact as possible within reason. So what I'm looking at is actually an FX30 along with a Sigma 18-50 lens, Sony E-mount. I've watched a bunch of stuff on this camera and the lens, and I'm kind of, it looks really good. Also, the camera has gyro data. So you can take the video and put it through something that can process the gyro data and get even more stabilization out of it. So yeah, I'm looking at that. I would be selling the A6400 because that's a kind of a spicy meatball to absorb in terms of cost. But basically, it would allow me to do 4K 120, 4K 60 for normal video. It doesn't crop in as much as that one, so I get a wider frame, bigger lens, newer lens, better autofocus. The autofocus on that lens is shit. And it doesn't have breathing comp. So every time it focuses in, you've seen some of my videos where I'm just standing there talking and I have autofocus on and it's constantly doing like in and out. That has breathing comp, or this has breathing comp, but it's actually a 6K sensor. and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that might be the big purchase for the channel this year, is that camera with that lens. I'm really happy with the audio. I'm now really happy with the audio with the DJI system. It's just the video when I go places, I'm not super happy with. How big is the body? It's the same as an FX3, so it's about the same size as that body. This is also Canadian price. Camera equipment is so, yeah, but what was the other one? People are like the ZV E1. So a ZV E1 is how much in Canadian money? Is $3 grand. If I go to the A7 series, an A7 III is, and this is the 3, not the 3S, is 2,300. An A7 IV is 3,200 Canadian. Also, these are full frame, so I need all new lenses. If I stay with APS-C, I can use all my current lenses. Canon R5. I want to stick with Sony because right now all my cameras are Sony. And Sony has really good autofocus. So yeah, it is what it is. R5 overheats. Yes, that's another thing. I record long takes, especially at events. So not overheating is a good thing. You can shoot in APS-C mode. You can, but then what's the point of having full frame? Is the weight. Yeah, the weight. So let me see here. FX 30, Sigma 15 to 50. So I watched a video on it. It's actually a really compact setup. Like, it's actually a really compact setup too. So I was like, yeah, who is it for? So yeah, there's the setup right there with, hello person. So yeah, there's your setup right there. There's the camera, there's the lens. Look how small that is. And put a little arm on it so I can actually record. Yeah. That mustache. He has a mustache. Sony has good autofocus. It does. Sony has the best autofocus when it comes to these cameras for the most part. Gimbals are pretty heavy. I'm hoping not to need a gimbal. I really don't want to use a gimbal. I just want a camera that has good enough autofocus for when I'm recording B-roll and pickup shots, and then I could just tripod it off. Because even this, the problem with this, I can't even do B-roll on this. The image is nowhere near stable enough. So GoPro is fine. It is until it isn't. And here's the thing, a lot of it's on me. I think I'm being overly critical of my own footage, because let's be honest, you don't come to this channel for the production quality, as I say while I'm actually out of frame or out of focus right now. There we go, now I'm in focus. You're not coming to this channel for the production quality. However, it's kind of like I'm being more harsh on myself than I need to. And I know better quality will not make me a better YouTuber. But it's also like I'm at these events and it's like everyone else has their fancy rigs and everything, and I'm this guy. One second here. Like I show up at an event, everyone's got their fancy tripods and like crew and whatnot. And I'm there and I'm like, I film my content with a GoPro on a stick. That's me. This is me when I show up at, you know, a trade show. And you know, consider I'm probably going to Form Next later this year. It looks like that is a move from no to maybe to potentially yes, if I can find a sponsor. I kind of want to have something to kind of justify me making content at these events. So yeah. You know what's really funny? When I see a YouTuber with like 20,000 sub have 3 people with them, like recording at these events, and I'm like, and their equipment blows mine out of the water, and I'm like, how are you how are you justifying this cost? Yeah. as long as you can see the content. That's the thing, like I'm looking at some of the B-roll I captured of like me trying to show stuff off, and it doesn't look good. That's the issue I'm having. Like some like there's one, I'm not gonna say which one it is, so hopefully you can figure it out, or hopefully you don't figure it out if I can figure out how to fix it. But some of the footage I got, it's like I'm watching the footage back and I'm like, I can't even see what we're talking about. Like it's just bleh. And then I go watch like a video of Joel's filmed on his C70 and it's all super crisp and whatnot, and I'm like, ah. Use my phone as B-roll. That's what I ended up doing. Like, here, I'll show you. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so. Worked, mellow, okay. Rapid, there's mellow, okay. Okay. Okay, so, is this one of the takes? Yeah, okay, it's muted. Okay, so like, this is like, there's a ramjet, and this guy is, you know, this is the guy who designed this thing in college, and he's going through the whole thing about it, and you can make it out, but it's just, the constant noise is what's really annoying me. Like there's a lot of noise in this video. And then you watch something I recorded on my phone in 2 seconds, and there's the phone. The B-roll should not look better than the A-roll. Like this is just on my Pixel at 4K 60. Whereas the other footage was on a GoPro at 4K 60. And I'm like, ugh. So. Here's my phone. I know audio. See, here's the thing. I found good audio. I got the DJI system here, and the audio is great. So now I'm going back to looking at my video. It's a Hero 10, which I'm still gonna bring to events. It's still like really good. Like when I live streamed from Rapid, I used the GoPro and it worked really good. But like the fact that I'm live streaming right now, and this has better video than what I traveled to an event to cover, is kind of like, ugh. And I would bring this. I would bring this, but the problem is this only works when it's on a tripod. Like I cannot handheld with this. So yeah. And it overheats. The room has better lighting. That is true. I've got, let's see here. So if you're wondering what the lighting setup on this room is, hello. Okay, so we've got 2 shop lights there. We got 1 shop light there. I got 1 light there. That's the main light on me. I've got the 2 lights in the ceiling are actually like the big CFL bulbs you use for like lighting white boxes or light boxes. Then I got another light there. And then the walls are painted light so that you can actually, there's a decent amount of bounce. So that's the lighting in just this room. So Nikon an option. I'm trying to stick with Sony just because I already have Sony, and E-mount lenses are plentiful and relatively cheap. Just get a gimbal. I don't want to use a gimbal. Also, the A6400, I've played around with, like, it's okay. Don't get me wrong, it's a great camera, and if you want to buy one, let me know. I'm going to be selling it. The issue, it has no in-body stabilization. It's 8-bit versus a 10-bit on the FX30. It crops in even more when I'm doing 4K 30 versus 4K 24. It only does 4K 30. What else? There's a few other little random things I'm not a huge fan of. The color profiles are okay. I don't know. Get a gimbal for the GoPro, it helps in low light. How would a gimbal help? It was fixed the whole time, like it wasn't even moving. It gets hot. And the bit rate, like the FX30 can record at much, much higher bit rates. You saw the fumble that Zach, I didn't see the fumble. What did he fumble? How's the print going? Let's actually, you know, this is a printing channel. Let's actually look at the print. I print things on YouTube for a living. Actually, no, I build printers for a living. Occasionally we print stuff. I don't know, I can't see. Let me find something higher. Yeah, good enough. I'll just bring this thing. I'll just bring the Canon, what is it? ZX XV. What the hell is this thing? Does it say, Vixia HFR 800. There we go. Yeah, switching systems. Yeah, so I'm thinking just get the FX30 and just roll with that. Oh, the gimbal. Yeah, I saw it. That's the thing. Like that's what ruined it for me. I was all happy with my super simple GoPro setup. It worked great. And then I go to Rocky Mountain, and then I also go to Murph or Rapid, and I see everyone else's setup, and I get, you know, a little bit of the jelly. It's a camera one. Yeah, this is the ultra high flow. We could probably be going faster, but it's PLA. I just wanted to get a few good layers in first. So how fast are we going right now? Let's see. So we're capping up to 15, 18 millimeters cubed a second flow. There's your speeds. So let's bump the speed up to 150 for now. Biggest thing I would also think about would be workflow. Yep. So when I do audio, I do dual audio. So I have left and right channel. One is one person, one is the other lab. And then all I do is I make them so they're both dual channel and they're their own separate things. So they're both mono basically. And then I just, you know, change the level so that they balance. And then I chop out all the dead air when one's talking. I chop out the other one. So it works pretty good. The audio, I'm really happy. I figured out how to do audio decently now. It's video. It's video I'm trying to up my game on. What are we printing? We're printing a wolf, actually. The music get louder. I didn't change the volume, so. Higher bitrate files. I've got a computer that can edit them fine, so I'm okay. Like, right now, when I record a video, I know I do videos occasionally on this channel. Import. Okay. Visual. Is there a way to make Windows always open videos, like always go to like icons instead of a list? Yeah, so right now when I record a video, I'm recording at roughly 100 kilobits per second. Yeah, that's my average bit rate right there on my current camera. It's 100. And that's maxed out. Like, I can't go any higher. I can't go for a higher bit rate. I'm as high as I can go on the camera currently. Versus the FX30, which is much higher. Oh, you can change it. Yeah, you can change it. Okay, so large icons. There we go. I don't know. I've been using the A6400 for over a year now, and I'm kind of not super happy with it anymore. I think that's kind of it. It's basically, I probably could if I, you know, sit down and learn how to properly color grade and whatnot, get a little bit more out of it. But I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it, right? I don't know. It's hard to say. There's a giveaway. There's always a giveaway. Link in the video description. What is your opinion about Canada Collapse? I've already spoken about it. They sent me one. It was one of the first versions that didn't work because they went with an MGN7 that was weeble wobbly. Apparently they fixed it. I wouldn't know. Other than that, I really can't say anything. I itch to buy cameras when I'm around people. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like if I'm recording at events, I want to have decent video at these events. And I thought the GoPro would be good enough. But I'm just going back and watching it, and I'm like, it's very, like, here, where is, because you got to remember, too, I take the raw video, I edit it into a usable clip with fixed audio and everything, and then I edit that into an outputted video, and then that video gets shoved to YouTube. That also bushes it. So by the time you're done, you know, this is 4K 60 GoPro footage on YouTube from an indoor event. And it's just fuzzy. The fuzzies. The haziness. It's like, yeah, it works. Also, the GoPro is kind of jittery indoors. Like when I move around, it like does that like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I can't figure out why it's doing that. I've tried changing a bunch of settings, but anytime I do like a handheld pan with it, it just, I don't know if it's the autofocus or the image stabilization or what, but anytime I move it around, it like, I'm not super happy. It looks best when it's locked off. And if I'm locking it off, I might as well just get a good camera at that point. So. It needs like, I know, that's the thing. There is no autofocus on a GoPro. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, that's a chunk of green. Where did I get a chunk of green from? Well, there's a chunk of green stuck somewhere. That's kind of now in the wool. Okay, let's speed it up to 200%. You can go to 200%, right? 200% speed. Well, I'm not going with a big camera. I'm going with an FX30 with a compact lens, an 18 to 50 lens. AV1. I don't think I can do AV1. Output. I don't think I can do AV1 because I have an NVIDIA card and it's a 1070 for, so I think I'm stuck on NVENC. So it's an action cam. I know that's kind of the limitation. So I think I'm just gonna hawk. I figure I can get about a little, maybe $1,200 for the A6400 with the setup. We'll see. Is what it is. If I get more, I'll get more, and then that will be the big channel purchase this year, because I'm still getting the garage set up too. Also, if I go with that supports outputting video for streaming over USB-C at full quality. So if I'm streaming out of the garage, I can literally just plug that thing into my laptop and just stream from it without needing other hardware. So an A380 can record AV1. It's about $100. I know. The thing is, I don't know if it's because right now I'm streaming NVENC 1440p 60 FPS at 1800 kilobits a second to YouTube. I don't know if I would see a bump in quality to be worth buying it. Like, I'm not doing high speed gaming. If I was like gaming and like really, especially like FPS, it would make a bit of sense. But for what I'm doing, I don't think going to AV1 would be a huge boost. So I'm just going to stick with what I got because it's working fine. So. So yeah, so I might buy that camera. I don't know for sure. I might just buy the lens and see how the lens is. But the fact that this camera, the A64, doesn't have in-body image stabilization is kind of annoying, especially for me, because I shake. So it basically prevents me from doing any handheld with it. Plus, let's be honest, I don't make a ton of videos, so let's be honest about that. Although, I do like these videos, so I'm done with the Rocky Mountain videos. If you're wondering what kind of content you're gonna see from Rapid, so this is the content I filmed at Rapid. So we got the B-roll. I did a video with Bofa. They do filters, E3D, LDO, MassFit, Pantheon, and Velo. So the Velo video is probably going to be on its own because it's like, well, that's all the A-roll right there. So the Velo video is probably going to be on its own. It's literally just nerding out about rockets and 3D printed rockets. The MassFit video might be its own thing. The LDO and the E3D might get paired up, and I might pair up the Pantheon with the MassFit. So we're probably gonna get 3 videos out of Rapid, I think. So over the next 3 weeks, you'll be seeing those videos. And then there's also a video from Rocky Mountain that's just the 30-minute talk that Max did about the V24 at a little guest event or a little talking event. That will be a video released at 1.2. What's the flow? I don't know what the flow is at 100%, but we're printing at 200% speed right now, which for the infill isn't too fast. I don't know what the speeds and feeds are. Pantheon giveaway. I don't have a Pantheon. Also, I've got sad news. I've got very sad news. You know the Hedamame headphones that I've been using for like, it's got to be over a year now. When did I build those Hedamames? When did I build those? Um, 11 months ago. So I built them 11 months ago. Only 6,000 views. Poop. They broke the wire, the mini XLR wire that connects the 2 headphones to the computer. The wire broke somehow, so my left ear doesn't work. I can like kind of like maneuver the wires, and like if I hold them in a certain position, they work. But yeah, the mini XLRs died. So yeah, I gotta figure out solder it back. I'd have to cut into it and resolder it. I don't know exactly where it's broken. I don't want to start mangling it. Time for the V2. Are there V2s of it now? Are there V2s? You can get replaced. I know you can get them from Vector Finesse, but I don't know if you can buy them from like Amazon. Yeah, there are V2s. Yeah. So the issue I've been having too is these right here, this mechanism doesn't hold them as well. It's kind of like worn out a bit. So they don't really stick as well. So I'll talk to Vector, see if maybe do a V2 build. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I was literally trying to edit last night, and like I'm like, why am I not getting my left channel audio? And I'm like trying to diagnose it in DaVinci, like what the heck's going on? And then I just happened to start up a YouTube video on the other monitor, and then also that one had no left audio, and I'm like, oh shit. So I start like unplug it, plug it in, unplug that one, plug it in. Okay, so if I move this one to here, it works, and then I started moving the wire around, and I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, the retaining strap was fixing. Yeah. They're like the Minimames. So now I'm stealing my wife's headphones. What time are we at anyway? It's 1 o'clock. Yeah, they do sell just the cable. I don't know if I'm going to try and fix it first. Package for delivery. Track my package. Has it been delivered? Out for delivery. B2 going to be CF nylon? Maybe. I've got graphene PET in black that I might try. We'll see. Minimum layer time? There might be. There might be. Where would be min layer time? Min speed. I don't know where min layer time is. I think we're capped at max volume, but I've also sped it up. So if I sped it up, it should ignore min layer time if I sped it up 200%. Excel scene low. I think they're only like 5K. They're 5K excels. When you increase speed, you don't increase excels, I don't think. Are we Z hopping? No, we're not Z hopping either. This profile doesn't have Z hop enabled. What are you talking about? I didn't mute myself. I was just talking to myself. I don't think your excels get affected. I think it's just speeds. Excel stay the same. That's what I kind of figured. Where are we at anyways? 106. Okay, so we still have a little bit before I gotta head out. Don't forget, you gotta enter for your chance to win some Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Our internal dialogue stays internal. Any advantages of sensorless homing on X and Y? Yeah, you don't need a sensor. Like in reality, it's never going to be as accurate because sensorless only works to the closest full step. That's why you don't use it for Z homing. It's not accurate enough. But for everyday use, there's really no real difference. Like you're not going to notice because usually you only home at the start of the print, and as long as you're on the bed, you're good. So. Prusa crash detection. Prusa pretty much disabled crash detection. There's too many false positives with it. Planning on testing new slice and engineering knowledge committed to Revo. I have no real desire to test the slice nozzles. Here's why. I've got Diamondbacks. Those have no issues. I've got nozzle X's. I've never had an issue with those. I'm using the Revo family of hot ends for the most part. So I'm kind of in that. I've got Obsidians. I've got Revo high flows. And then the one printer that I'm building in the near future, the Mark IV, I've got a Diamondback that's going to go in that. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Also, I don't have $1,000 to drop on their compensator 9,000. Do I usually set pressure advance? Nope. I usually set it and forget it. Got Revo high flows. I know. I've got a few of them. Let's see. What do we got in the bag of goodies? Actually, no. It's upstairs. Oh, they're in the other bag of goodies. I've got Revo high flows. I've got 60-watt heaters. Actually, one right here. I haven't put it in a machine yet. They do exist. Do a hot end cost $1,000? No, it's $999.99 plus tax. So it's both below and above $1,000. The RatRig to the Voron pros and cons. I mean, to be honest, this is what the second print we've done on this machine, so I can't really fully comment on it. But in terms of the build, if you can build one, you can build the other. They're just different ethos. Voron's a completely fully open source project designed for you getting the parts yourself, although there's tons of kits now, but back in the day there weren't. Using completely commercial off-the-shelf parts, nothing custom. The RatRig is a commercial machine designed to build yourself. So RatRig is a company. There are parts in here that require manufacture. There's a lot of brackets and whatnot that require they be manufactured specifically for this printer. The printer itself, 9mm belts, 30-30 extrusions. It's designed to go bigger than a Voron. Vorons are not meant to be large printers. They're actually, the spec size for a Voron is 250. That's why the CAD for all of them is 250. That's what they're designed to be, that size. They're designed to be Ultimaker footprint printers. So yeah, just different strokes for different folks. Build the printer you want. If you want to go bigger, this one. If you want to go smaller, more compact, these are way more space efficient than this. Or if you're insane, just wait on whatever V24 becomes and build one of those. Cure versus super slicer, then tell us. Try not to break anything. Whatever slicer you like. I don't use Cure a lot, so I can't really comment on it. As for the other ones, honestly, if you could tell me the difference between a Benji printed with all three of those slicers, all four of those slicers, with tuned settings for a machine on each one of them, and you could tell the difference between the Benchies, let me know. I sure as hell can't. Use the slicer you like. Hey, Pavel. I'm waiting on my shoes. So I got the fancy 3D printed sole Adidas, and unfortunately they didn't fit. So I sent them back, and I should be getting replacements today. So I'm waiting on that. Ooh. Velo liked a bunch of my tweets. Let's hang up on the best. Exactly. Here's the thing. The majority of stuff out there is good for 80% of what everyone does. And then there's a kind of a decent jump between 80 and 90. And then once you're at 90%, it's all incremental beyond that. Let's be honest. It's like speed veggies. It's just comparing for comparison's sake. There is no best printer. If somebody tells you that the Bamboo is the best printer in the world, that's the only printer you should buy, they're a fool. There are people that statement is true for, but not everyone. Same with a Voron, same with a RatRig, same with Creality. Pretty much, well, except for some printers, let's be honest. Some printer companies just make clones of RatRigs or sorry, clones of Creality, like G-Tech. Who buys a G-Tech, really? But anyways, TLDR, pretty much every type of printer, there is somebody that printer makes sense for. There's no one size fits all. That's why whenever somebody asks me in the middle of a stream, hey, should I buy this printer? And that's the only thing they say, I won't answer it because I can't answer it. And if somebody can answer it with just that relevant information with a yes or no, they don't know what they're doing. There's 0 use cases. See, you're wrong there, Nolan. As much as I don't like Crealities, I think they're bargain bin budget printers. And there's many better options out there for a very little price increase. For some people, the $99 Micro Center Ender 3 is all they can afford, and that's all they want to get into, and they just want to start with that because, you know, they binge watched a bunch of chef videos and they want to have some fun tinkering on something new. YOLO, have fun. I personally don't think it's a great idea, but if you want, you do you, man. You do you. So, I mean, let's be honest, a $99 printer is dirt cheap. Of course, there's going to be lackings to it. I will say, one of the reasons I also picked this print, it's like a 3-hour print, I really want to make sure that the drivers didn't overheat. They are not, so that's good. So the fan's working. Poor Shep. Yeah, poor Shep's gonna have to learn Clipper to guide all the Creality K1 users through the darkness to the lands of acceptable print quality. Like, honestly, in my personal opinion, the absolute budget printer I would recommend is a KP3S, and then above that, the SV06. Those are my budget printers that I recommend. Anything below that, I think, has too many issues. The amount of time, anytime I bring that up, I've done a whole video on it. Anytime I bring up starting with cheap budget printers, I get a ton of comments. Yes, I get people going, oh, they work great for me, I've never had an issue. But I also get a ton of comments from people that go, I started with those printers, they were horrible, I wish I never done it. I almost got out of 3D printing, or I did get out of 3D printing because of the downsides of that printer and the issues I had, and the fact that I could never get it to print right just frustrated me. Your first car shouldn't be a project car. Your first car should be just something that you know works. You learn how to drive, you learn how to maintain it, and then you go get the project car later on. You don't start with the project car. Like, yeah, it's cool, but, you know, let's be honest, a kid in high school who's literally just got their license, who watched one YouTube video, should not be getting, you know, a 1970s Porsche that doesn't run or barely runs as their first car, and they're gonna have to constantly maintain and upkeep it. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool for some, but for a lot of people, that does not make sense. All the electrical issues. ProForge 4 Kickstarter. What is a... Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. You better not be stealth advertising it, because I don't like Kickstarter. First off, don't back a Kickstarter ever. Unless it's like, yeah. What the hell? Who's MakerTech? Open source and hackable. Okay, how much is this printer? How much is this? $1,000 for... Okay, sure. You want, you do you do you. Pona, $5. Hey, noob question, but what extrusions you always bash V-wheel extrusion? Why? Or is it something like, they just use standard, what's the normal T-nut? Or what's the normal, they're just normal extrusions. They're not, V-wheel is when the motion system rides on little ball bearings on wheels on the extrusions. So this is V-slot extrusion. See how there's like a little V-slot in there? And these are the extrusions a Voron uses. And on a Voron, the extrusions are just the frame. Nothing's riding on this. You mount a rail to this that it rides on the rail. On an Ender and a lot of budget printers, this is the motion system. This is extruded aluminum. There is no guarantees that this is straight or untwisted. This is literally, you take aluminum and you shove it through a die. It comes out this shape, and then in like 40-foot increments, they kind of stretch it kind of straight enough. So I've seen these be completely twisted. That means your motion system's twisted. I did a whole video on it. So it works, but it is the cheapest motion system for a reason. Also, yeah, and MGN9 doesn't sit on 2020 V slot. The gap's too wide. They are not a new company. They're based in. Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of Kickstarters. I'm not a fan of Kickstarters. I've too many of them have burned people. And always do research. Anytime you're going to buy a first revision, especially with 3D printers, don't be putting money down, especially several hundred to $1,000+ on nothing that's a picture and a render. Okay. The amount of times people have been burned by 3D printer Kickstarters, they're billions and billions of times. Okay, it's now granted, if you want to do it, if you want to do the research and you think it's worthwhile, you do you. I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. Is it aluminium or aluminum? Yes. Keep the accelerometer connected to the Voron? Nope. You only need the accelerometer on to run input shaper. Once you have your numbers for input shaper, you can take it off. XY below 7,000. Check the charts. You may not have belts tight, or you might have something loose. And also depends on the size of the printer too. Are linear rails so stiff that they can pull a twist out of rail extrusions? To an extent, but your rails should not be that twisted to begin with. The problem is a lot of time on V-wheels, if it's a V-wheel printer, they're using the cheapest stuff, usually. And especially once you go big, you start running into issues. Like, really, you should check your rails to make sure they're, like, get a hard, flat surface and roll your rails on it, or your extrusions on it. Make sure they're not twisted. If you got a really twisted extrusion, don't use it for something that's attached to a motion system. Now is the best time. Yep, there's. I don't have Facebook on this computer. I have Facebook on one computer and I never use it except for Marketplace. But yeah, Mark 3s right now are going for a steal. I got burned on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter company's garbage. They won't even help you if people don't update and ghost in 1 week. Yep, it is. I view Kickstarter as gambling. Kickstarter themselves, I think the whole platform is shady. The fact that there's no guarantees and they're not held to any guarantees is just kind of, it is what it is. It's gambling. Some people like gambling though. I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. Just wanted your opinion on the design. By the way, my first try at 300 is coming in tomorrow from FormBot. Hit up your playlist. Cheers. You should be fine. The FormBot kits have gotten a lot better than they used to be. That's my Trident's a 350 Physek. All the fans died. Most of the cheaper AliExpress kits, I think the biggest issue is the electronics. Most of them use like off-the-shelf stuff, so Victory Tech boards and whatnot, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But the wiring and the fans are usually of subpar quality. Will you be putting the Ender 3 back together? Look at the Ender 3 to Quark so I kit. if you take an Ender and completely take it apart and replace everything with a new frame and everything to make it a Core XY, it's not an Ender anymore. It's a new printer with scrap Ender parts. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I really no desire to build an Ender tier Core XY. Got enough good Core XYs. Shippeth Theseus, exactly. Build the 100. I'm going to be building a Rook. I've got a Rook kit will eventually be on the way from Fabrico. When that shows up, we'll be building a Rook. And it'll be a stock Rook. Basically using just the bed, steppers, and MC to make another printer. Exactly. 100 the Rook. Cool. The Voron is better than both. Cool. Are we doing dick measure in here? Why not the 100? Because there's no kits for it? And I only started hearing about it like a week or two ago. Like, isn't it just basically the Rook, but with a few design changes? Also, I really don't like the name the 100. It seems very pompous. Why is it called the 100? Yeah, it's just a differently designed Rook. It's basically the same thing as a Rook, just with extra stuff to it. Plus it's 165. See, I want the small size. I want the small size of the Rook. Oh, and it's rod based instead of rail. Okay. Also, I really don't care about spacing speed. I think the Rook is cuter. We're building the Rook because I think the Rook is cuter. That's why. Like, aesthetically, I think the Rook is more pleasing. So we're gonna build a Rook. I mean, look at this thing. Look how cute this is. Look how cute this is. That looks so cute. The open belts and everything. I love how simple it is. That's why I'm building it. It's more aesthetically pleasing. Plus, there's actually a kit for this one that Fabrico sent me. Yeah. Like, nothing against this guy, but this is a fun little printer that's, you know, simple. This is super serial. Like, this is super serial, like 43 millimeter. I'm not putting a high flow hotend in this. This is just a fun little simple printer. Super simple, fun times had by all. Super serial. I go for speed. Purely about speed. Yeah, and I don't care about speed that much. I've got the fastest printer in the world. Multiple printers. So, plus I need something small. What am I going to print the Rook in? If Customs ever releases it, I have a bunch of Galaxy ABS and ASA from Polymaker that I'm going to use. Positron when? You're going to have to watch the video from Rapid for information about that, which I haven't edited that one yet. I might do the LDO and E3D one together. We'll see. Then I have 6 V0s. I've got 1, 2, that's a micron. 3, 4, I think, including the salad fork. V0 and the micron. Well, the V0's there, the micron's under there, the salad forks is in the other room, the other V0's in the other room. Use the graphene filament. It's PET. I was going to use them for the hedemames. I might reprint the hedemames. I got to talk to Vector Finesse about if he wants me to do a V0 or V2 version build stream. We got half an hour, by the way. So if you want to enter for a chance to win some Polymaker filament, because they got Galaxy ABS now, link in the description. Put the Rook at a PCCF. That would be a little overkill. Do I actually make money from using the printers? If building them on live streams for content, yes. Rolohan recommends just PLA. I know PLA is more stiff, and for an open air printer that you're really not printing high temp stuff, you actually do want PLA. So. Want to build a T0 plus 50? What's a T0 plus 50? What? Who are naming these printers? T0 plus 50 printer. What is a T0 plus 50? What the hell is that even? A Terminator. Okay, what's a okay? Terminator 0 plus 50. I don't even know what that is. Link it in my Discord. Thoughts on the Rook evolution? If you want, like, let's be honest, I built the bonsai out of scrap parts that I had lying around to prove that you can print ABS on anything. So I like this, just the base Rook, because it's a super simple, basic design and it's fun. That's basically the reason. So, plus I saw one at Remurf and it was super cute. So, actually, I do have some fancy. Ooh, should do one of the like the bicolor stuff. Well, I mean, to be fair, we printed metal on the V0. Like the V0 can print metal. I've got my 40 gram benchy, my 41.2 gram benchy here. This is metal. This is stainless steel. For those, like, you can print metal on a V0. It still needs to be sent out for sintering, but I gotta remember I have my obsidian in that. What is most printers you ran at the same time? When I was printing the Mando armor, I printed a full set of Mandalorian armor in a week. I had these 3 Vorons running. I had the Bamboo running. I had the V400 running. And I had a Mark III running. All at the same time. I was kind of worried about blowing a breaker because I also had the computer running and I was printing something on the resin machine too. So, and it had all the lights on in the room. So I was a little worried of popping a breaker. So that's one of the reasons when I do the garage, I got it mostly cleaned out now. I'm looking into getting 20 amp circuits put in out there instead of 15. So I'm pretty sure these ones inside the house are only 15. Also, I don't trust the wiring in this basement at all. What retract? 5mm. So this is having a problem where it's because I don't think I have, yeah. So I don't have retracts on this profile, unfortunately. So it's like building up gunk during travels and it's like depositing it randomly. But yeah, usually I find on my Vorons, it's probably different on every printer, but on my Vorons, I run a 5mm retract at the end of a print with a Revo nozzle. That's usually enough to actually pull the filament out enough that when the printer's cool, you can actually just pull the filament out. So if you want to change filament before starting another print, you can just pull out the old filament, shove in the new, and you're good to go. And then just run like a big purge line. That's usually why I still print with skirts, is just so I can purge out the old filament on most of the time. So I like the resin printer. It is an Anycubic. What's the current one I'm using? Anycubic X2. Photon Mono X2. It works good enough. I mean, like it's a resin printer. It prints really damn good detailed models. But I don't do this kind of stuff often, so it's It's really good for showing off the prints that I print on it when I review it, and then afterwards it sits there and I haven't used it since. $15 mil, that's quite a bit. I've got no issues with 5 mil. 5 mil has been plenty enough. I don't swap the nozzles a crazy amount. I'm probably going to start swapping the nozzles more on this guy. That is just going to have a 0.6 obsidian live in it with the 60-watt heater, and it's going to be that. This one, I've got a 0.4 high flow, and I've got a 0.6 high flow. So I'll probably just swap between the two. On Revo, nozzle size with the way the geometry is, it depends. Your max flow rate on Revo high flow is going to depend if you upgrade it to the 60-watt heater or not, and the filament and the nozzle size. It can do up to 40 millimeters cubed, but that depends on the filament and the nozzle size. The bigger nozzles allow more flow. It's physics, whatnot. The big Nerf gun. It's over there. I couldn't get it working, and then there were some updated parts, and then I just put it aside and I never got back to it. ABS or ASA, either or. Just make sure you're using good quality filament for either. ASA, ABS? Not really. You can, good ABS is as good ASA. I'll fight anyone on that. It's just there's a lot of shitty ABS out there, so people think ASA is better, but for most use cases, you're never going to notice the difference. What's up, my thoughts on Crow XY? I've never built one, and after I build an Annex K3, I'll let you know. But for now, I haven't built one yet. So for those that are new, I'm very hesitant to actively recommend or give direct opinions on things I haven't used, or somebody that I trust has used that I can go off their opinion. So. Sparta 3D. Yeah, Sparta 3D makes some good Galaxy stuff. It is a little on the overly stiff, slightly brittle side, in my opinion. But for most use cases, it's not an issue. Had a layer of problems with my eSun. eSun ABS Plus changed their formula a little while back, and it's not the same that it used to be. So. How are we doing? It's printing. Gotta update the accelerations and the slicer profile. They're a little on the conservative side. I think we're only doing like 5K Excel. And it didn't have Z-Hop on it, but otherwise it's printing fine. Stream for pretty long on an early morning. This is normal. The normal schedule for those new to the channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out. The normal stream is Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, a 3-hour live stream. On Tuesdays and Fridays, it's either 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's like 2 weeks of one, 2 weeks of the other. Depends on my wife's schedule. But I gotta go pick up the little guy from school on some days. And then the Saturday stream is 8 p.m. till usually 11 p.m. Eastern, all Eastern times. So 3 streams a week, 3 hours each. That's the normal schedule. Plus a video a week, usually. So. That's the normal cover for the EVA. The EVA. About Revo High Flow, I can't see anything on their site. Wait till my video this weekend. They did do a video on, go on their YouTube. They did a live stream that I had to set up for them, and they borrowed my mics for it. But they did do a live stream where they talked about it. Basically, they have like an internal geometry thing that allows the standard Revo to reach high flow by splitting the filament up, kind of like the CHT does, only different geometry. And they have a bigger heater cartridge. But there you go. We're at 420 viewers. Everyone liked the smash button. It's the funny number. It's the number of the lettuce that the people don't like or do like, depending. Is it a new nozzle heater core? Yes. It's both or neither. Depends on your setup. If you only print PLA and ABS, you really don't have to go to the bigger heater. It depends on your nozzle size. You can swap out the nozzle for high flow nozzle and go up in flow. But some materials like nylon need more heat to get higher flow, and for that they have a 60-watt heater cartridge. So Revo High Temp, I don't know what you're talking about Revo High Temp. I wouldn't call this a CHT clone because I can't go into it, but I wouldn't call it a clone. Clone implies that it's a copy, which also means that it was kind of developed to match something. Put the 60-watt in with just standard obsidian. If you're printing with an obsidian, that's usually filled material. And fill materials for a lot of them are higher temp, like nylons, polycarbonates, at least the kind that I use. So having a heater core that can dump more heat into the filament, even if you don't have a high flow nozzle, can probably still get you a little bit more flow and a little bit more consistency with the melting. So is it split? It's split into 4. So I actually, so they had this at the show. So if you went there, you could have saw it, but this is the little demo. So it's actually 4. This is cut in half, obviously. So you can see there's one in the back here. So this whole thing is an insert, and it inserts into the main body. So this is obviously a 3D print of it, but yeah, there's the, what it looks like inside. So it's got 4. Die smells like? I don't know. I haven't actually printed with one yet. I haven't put filament into it. Maybe we'll do that on Friday. Maybe we'll put a Revo High Flow in here and try it on Friday. Suck to get a clog. I can't tell you the last time I had a clog. I don't know if it's because I run good filament like Polymaker, or also Sparta 3D or, you know, Jesse filament. Like, I run good filament. I can't remember the last time I had a clog. You're printing too low. That's what it is. The majority of y'all, because printers print fast now, are printing at too cold temp. Up your temps. Up your temps. And faster retracts. Yeah, I wouldn't compare it with, here's the thing too, Rapido and whatnot. Remember, the vast majority of the 3D printed market, especially at home, are people printing on V-wheel bed slingers and like Prusas. Like, the vast majority of the 3D printer market, especially at home, has no need for high flow. Like, I'm talking like true high flow above like 20 millimeters cubed a second. What is high flow? What is the actual metric for high flow? It's just a marketing term, right? Especially when companies say, oh, it extrudes up to 40 millimeters cubed a second. With what filament? I'm sure PLA at 300C will extrude really damn fast. Like, and what size nozzle? There's so many metrics. There's no official standard. High flow is just marketing. It's like for you Yanks It's like high capacity magazines. What's high capacity? What's standard capacity? It's just whatever some random person decided with the number. What do you think of Kiao? Are you asking about Kiao? I think it's okay. It's another way of doing things if you got to do things manually, but I've used it. It's okay. It does what it says on the tin. Like, here's the thing. I'm of the opinion, based on my personal use, Revo is probably the best hot end for the majority of people. It's super simple. You don't have to worry about leaks. It's very hard to screw up putting it together. It's 2 parts. Well, 3 if you count the heater core. It's a very robust, simple setup that for most people is perfectly fine. All that, you don't have to worry about offsets when you change nozzles because they're all consistent. You don't have to torque stuff to spec. You don't have to worry about all nozzle leaking. It's just a super simple, easy, reliable setup, and it works really good at what it does. But there are people that build their high-speed printers from scratch that need more, and that, there you go, Rapido. Or people that print, you know, crazy high-temp stuff, and they need stuff that is 100% reliable in a commercial setting or industrial setting. And hey, all of a sudden that sliced $999 hot end makes sense for you. There's a market for everyone. $1.75. We tried that on the CHT stream. A while ago, when the CHT first came out, Bondtech sent me a set of nozzles, and I think it was like the 2 mil nozzle, or one of the nozzles extruded filament that was like roughly 1.675 millimeter. So I tried extruding the filament and then feeding it back into the hot end to see if we could re-extrude it. It didn't work. Would have been fun, but it didn't work. Yeah, 1.8. Yeah. So we tried feeding it back in to like an Ouroboros hot end, and it didn't work. Okay, hey, Gabs, you've asked that several times. Are you talking about Kiao? Because I don't know what Kin Yao is. And if you're talking about Kiao, I've used it. It does what it needs to do. I don't have anything good or bad to say about it. It just does what it does. If you need to set up Clipper on a system easier than a complete manual setup and you don't have pre-made images, it works pretty good. Yeah, and what is ultra high flow now? Like that, y'all just making up words now. I will say I'm getting quite a bit of buildup on this nozzle, and I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. Wayne, gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers. Turbo high flow. I could pause it, but where's the fun in that? Why pause it when you can just reach in there and possibly, you know, make the print fail? I'm checking to see how easy it is to cause a layer shift by slightly touching the hot end. Super duper high flow. Well, they did have the super volcano. Okay, Gab, I'm gonna mute you if you keep asking that question. I've literally just answered it, so if you ask it one more time, you're getting a timeout. Thoughts on these? What is... I have no idea what that is. Standard high-end... What? Oh, it's from Tringle Bob. Okay, what is Tringle Bob? What the hell is this? Firstly, hi, I don't work in marketing. I took a class on it in high school. Don't call your project the STD. Simple as that. I know there's a language barrier there in translation, but don't call your project the STD. Okay? Okay, what's the flow rate? It's a high. I can't even see it. It's all covered in shrouding. Cool. It's high flow hot end. What's the flow rate? This is the first I'm hearing about it, so I have no opinion on it, but okay, so it's a super volcano with a metal shield. Like a bad ceramic Goliath. Okay. Here's the thing. I run Revos on most of my machines. I have a few machines with a Rapido, a normal Rapido, not the ultra high flow. This is the first time I play with ultra high flow. So beyond that is completely wasted on me. I don't print at those speeds. I like my prints to have good layer adhesion and actually come out looking pretty good, for one thing. I don't print giant face mode prints or little demos where they're all nice rounded corners so you can crank 6K XL or 10K XL at 600 millimeters a second, because the print is designed to allow you to do that, and it's a demo and it's not a practical thing, and it's only one layer thickness, and you just look at it. It's not real. Quit lying to yourself. I don't print those things. I was thinking of putting it on the Rook. Yeah, you get like, what, 20 mil of Z? Could print at those speeds. True, if you melt it hot enough, but I don't print at those speeds. Yeah, I've already talked about it. I already answered Kiao. It's like the third time, so it's fine for what it does. It's a tool. It does a function, and it's good at it. So, right behind in chat. Hit refresh. That's the thing with YouTube. It's not like Twitch where you can't, you can get behind on YouTube. Do I recommend the ERCFA? If you're looking for an open source multi-material unit, it works pretty good. Have any suggestions for an alternative nozzle? I haven't used any other. I think a volcano nozzle is close enough. I'm not 100% sure though. Bad influence getting chameleon. Bill would like that. Thoughts on Tridex? If you want a Trident that's also IDEX, go for it. Like $10. Cheers. Slightly smiling face. The cam's shaking? No, the printer's shaking. But now the camera's shaking. It's an earthquake. Oh no. This bench isn't bolted to. What Diamondback am I going to use? Probably just 0.4. Because I don't have a 0.5. Yeah, I'll just probably put a 0.4. It's a Mark IV, right? It's not a speed printer. Although they did have one at the trade show, printing ABS, or correction, not printing ABS, sorry, printing with input shaper. What benches do I use? What I recommend them. So I've got a few. This one here is a Husky, I believe. It's like a Husky 72 inch by 24 inch one. It's bolted to the wall. It's got a 1 inch thick, like butcher block top. It's good enough. This one is like one of those like metal frame ones you like snap together. I bought it years ago, really cheap. I did reinforce it. This one also is bolted to the wall, so they're pretty good. This bench here I built. It's out of 2x6s and 4x4s. This bench was my reloading bench when I did the pew pew thing years ago, and it was a pain in the butt moving between one room and another. But this is a solid bench. This one isn't bolted to the wall though, and I got a countertop on it. Yeah, Diamondback can't be used. Anything with an insert can't go over 300C because of potential for failure. I got a really good wrench at Princess. Yeah, Princess Auto is Canadian version of Harbor Freight, basically. Yeah, the Husky one's not too bad. Here's my advice. Bolt it to the wall. So what I do is, I think on this one it was a 2x4. Yeah. So what I did was I took a 2x4 and cut it into like 1 foot chunks. And then there's a lip, right? There's a metal lip. So what I did was I drilled holes through the metal frame so I could drill through, or I could put a bolt, like literally I got like 8-inch, like big chunky screws through this plate, through the wood, into the wall in like 4 positions, I think. That's it. Or yeah, it's just single 2x4. So yeah, so it goes through the metal frame, through the 2x4, into the wall. And that way it's bolted to the wall. And also it spaces it, because on the back there actually is no lip. It spaces it from the wall. So that way you can run like power cables and whatnot through the gap. You want it to be solid. You don't want it shaking like this. This don't move. This moves. How's the room? The room is fine. It's got no room. In terms of room, we have no room. Once I get the garage finally set up, I do want to change the layout here. I might go cringe and have the desk move this desk 90 degrees. So I will be looking at you like this. The camera would stay where it's at, but the desk would go this way, I think. I might move it back a bit. We'll see. Oh, how big? 10 feet by 11 feet, roughly. There's also a closet that's in the room, so I lose space because of that. Small. Yep, I do everything out of this room. I do have another room that's pretty much just storage. But we got 5 minutes until the giveaway. So make sure you enter. Then also, if you do, just want to buy Polymaker filament, guess what? It's pretty good stuff. There is a link in the description. It's an affiliate link. Buy as much as you want. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it goes a long way in supporting the channel. 10 by 11 in metric. No, in portions of the king's knuckle or something. Red ambulite. I may put backlighting on, but the freaking nanoleaf blue purple shit that people do, that'd be like, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, no, I'm never doing that. I'm tempted to put, I might do it in the garage, but I do want to get like I might use a piece of acrylic or something and start, because I got a bunch of stickers and plaques and like kind of cool little like, like the DFH badge and like a few other like random knickknacks that I want to put somewhere to show off. Trade show lanyards. So I might set up something like that, but that's about it. So maybe I'll do that in the garage or something. I need somewhere for the CNCs. How am I going to heat? That's what I need to figure out. So here's the thing. The plan is hopefully to get the garage into a state where I could start doing stuff out there in the next month or so. It's mostly cleaned out. I got to figure out electrical and I got to figure out insulation. Once that's done, heating and cooling, I need to basically figure something out. So heating, a little furnace or something, cooling, a little AC unit. Like, it's a garage. I can't tie it into the home system at all. It needs to be independent. And it just needs to be good enough that it doesn't freeze in the winter and I'm not sweating body parts off in the summer. So, a mini split. Yeah. Put all the printers. I would put some printers out there. Obviously, I would keep some printers in here. But the plan would be, once I get the garage set up, the plan is the garage is the workshop. Because right now, you notice how we do the workshop stuff in here. And out there, like, it's just a mess in here. So the plan would be, this would be the print room. And like unboxings and printed chills and like like that would be in here, and anytime we're building anything or doing a big project, it would be out there. That would be kind of the idea. A mini split for V20. Yeah, I'll just build a V24 and just yeah, just build a V24 and then I'll just live in the V24 because I can fit in the V24. Any events for hobbies in the next year? Yeah, there's Midwest Rep Rap Fest. That's in Goshen, Indiana. That's in last weekend of June, I believe. There's East Coast Rep Rap Fest. That's the last weekend of September, I believe. If you're in England, there's the Sanjay Mortimer Rep Rap Fest, Smurf, put on by E3D. That is the first weekend of December. There's also Calgary Maker Fair in the next couple weeks, I believe. Am I going to LTX? No. LTX is in Vancouver. I am not in British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. I'm in Ontario. There's a bit of a travel between those, and the budget is not that friendly. Get a reversible heat pump mini split, and that would save your heating and cooling issues out there. How much are they? What's a reversible heat pump mini split? Reversible heat pump mini split. I want something cheap. I don't see any. Okay. That's just a heat pump. 6K. Ooh, 6K is quite a bit. The garage ain't big. It's a one-car garage, and I'm only using half of it. The plan on the garage is basically split it into two, so that the front portion of the garage, by like the garage door, is still storage, like for my lawnmower and shit. And then I'm gonna divide it with racking with panels, and that will be like, so I'll have a studio in the garage. So yeah. Anyways, TLDR, let's give away some filament. So you have until I finish pulling up everything here to enter. So probably by the time you're reading this or seeing this now, it's too late to enter. You'll get another chance on Friday. So every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. So if you missed your chance, better luck next time. Read the pinned messages in chat. Dang it, I missed the button. There we go. And then if you do win, you'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament. Sometimes they just send it. They don't always send an email. So if you don't hear anything in about 2 to 3 weeks, open a ticket on their Discord. I know some people ask me about that every now and then. 1 to 1.5 ton. Yeah, I don't even think I need a ton, considering my house is like a 3 ton or something like that. Not even. Okay. We did 10 streams to get this far. I need a number between 0 and 10. Give me a number between 0 and 10. Mr. Cool DIY mini split, about 1700. That works. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, the computer knows. Computer knows all. So congratulations, Teza. One of one. Like to see that. Congratulations, Teza. So you will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So I will set up the community challenge this week. I think we're going to go with the time limit stream or time limit print just because, unless anyone thinks of anything better. So we'll do that for the community challenge. For the RatRig here, again, shout out to RatRig themselves for setting this print or this kit for the build, along with Mandalaroseworks for the panels and the print bed itself, because it's one of their individual magnet beds. If you're interested in the RatRig or anything from Mandalaroseworks, link in the description. Check them out, good folks. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament that we gave away. Again, check them out and more. Link in the description. Affiliate links don't cost you anything extra. Go a long way in supporting the channel. So yeah, so we're gonna end it there. There will be a video this weekend from Rapid, so I'll start putting Rapid videos out. Make sure you go watch the last videos. If you're not a member of the channel, consider subscribing. If you want to help support the channel, content I create, things I do, consider becoming a channel member or Patreon supporter as well. For those that donate to the channel, became members of the channel, or gifted memberships to others, thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, or buy the cameras I'm probably going to buy in a little while. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. So cheers. So it is Tuesday, still got a bit left of the week. So be safe out there, wash your hands, and I will see you on Friday for probably a print and chill. We'll probably print with this, or we'll play around with high flows. I don't know. Figure it out.